Good morning and welcome to the season of Advent. Today is Sunday, November 29th in the year 2020, and this is my adult Sunday school lesson for today. I'm Diane Jordan, Director of Christian Education for Pleasant Hill United Methodist Church, located in Indianland, South Carolina. So today starts our Advent season, and so last week I went to the bookstore and I was looking for some research books to use in preparing my lessons for the season of Advent, and I walked up to one of the salespeople and I asked her, "Can you tell me where your section on Advent is?" She looked at me and she truly had no idea what I was talking about. So I explained that Advent is a season of 4 weeks leading up to Christmas Day, and she looked at me and she said, "Oh, we don't have a section on that." So I guess I got really spoiled when we had Lifeway bookstore here in town, but I also decided that I would dedicate today's lesson to talking about what Advent is. So what is Advent? Where did the word Advent come from? Advent comes from the Latin adventus, meaning coming or arrival. And so the season of Advent is when Christians prepare for the arrival or the coming of baby Jesus. And in our church's liturgical calendar, Advent begins 4 Sundays before Christmas. So this year, the season of Advent begins today. Advent is a time of preparation for the birth of Christ. And just to clarify, in our liturgical calendar, Christmas isn't just December 25th. Christmas season starts on December 25th and runs through January 6th, which is Epiphany, the celebration of the day that the Magi brought their gifts to baby Jesus. Now, in the United States, we've been hit by the pandemic this year, and it's affecting how we can celebrate Christmas with family and friends and things that we've always done. In the United States, up until this year, we would be in a whirl of activities during the month of December. We'd be shopping for gifts and attending children's dance recitals and Christmas plays, their Christmas presentations, going to see light displays, searching for the perfect gifts in many stores for all our families and our friends and our kids' teachers and our kids' coaches. And we're attending parties with families and parties with coworkers and parties with friends. And we're throwing parties ourselves that we're trying to make sure are perfect. We also have a tendency to overspend during this holiday season, and a lot of people that are already struggling with credit card debt will be impacted significantly by this season as their bills climb higher instead of being paid off. But this year, the pandemic has forced us to slow down. A lot of these events that we normally attend are canceled this year. And there are some that are near and dear to me, like the children's nativity play, that we won't be able to do this year. But there are still ways for us to remember and to put Christ first in our celebration during the season of Advent. And so I want to use today as an opportunity to kind of give you some ideas, some ways that you can celebrate the season of Advent in a pandemic season where we can't go out and we can't go to these places that we normally go to. So my first suggestion is, I do love the Christmas light displays. McAdenville has an incredible display that you can drive through, put some hot chocolate in a thermos for each person in your family, and drive through and enjoy those Christmas lights. There's no charge for going through the event, and it's magnificent. Also, our Speedway has a Christmas light display as well. That is just phenomenal. There is a cost per car to go through there, but again, put some hot chocolate and a thermos for the kids and drive through, and it'll be a magical experience. My second suggestion is sending Christmas cards through the mail, through the postal service. A lot of us have gotten away from sending Christmas cards because it's time consuming to sit there and address them all. And we just kind of push that aside until it just doesn't get done. I had a friend tell me that she's had the same Christmas cards for 5 years because she hasn't ever sent them yet because she's never gotten them done. But you know what? A Christmas card, a written Christmas card, is a wonderful way, especially during this pandemic, to reach out and let someone know that you were thinking about them and that you care about them. And if you're really feeling the Christmas spirit, you can write a Christmas letter and include it in your Christmas cards. Now, I know that nobody's going to be telling us about the wonderful trips that they took this year, but tell them what is going on in your life. And it means a lot to the people who receive them. Another idea is to have your children draw pictures for the recipients of your Christmas cards, especially if it's going to grandmas and granddads who are terribly missing their grandchildren. This is a wonderful way for your children to send a message to them that they are thought of and they are loved. You can also make an Advent wreath, and if you follow the words in our bulletin each Sunday, they are printed there. You can print them from our website. It'll tell you exactly what to do and what to say to have an Advent wreath at home. Now, you can make one of these with the extravagant greenery and tall candles and all, but you can also do this as simply as a plate and 5 votive candles. If you don't want your kids around a real flame, you can even get the little votive candles that flicker and run on batteries. And it's just a wonderful way to celebrate the season of Advent in your own home, since so many of us are not available or able to come out and worship together as a group. Also, one of my favorite traditions that I did with my own children was to make paper chains. And I did this in my kindergarten classroom too. And a paper chain looks like this. I've done it in Sunday school with your kids if they've gone here. But basically, on today, count how many days until Christmas gets here. And then give the kids colored strips of paper, or they can use white copy paper, which is what I used, and they can draw Christmas pictures on it. And have them hang these up in their bedrooms. Every morning when they get up, they take off one of the paper chains, and they can count how many days are left until Christmas. My children grew up doing this every year, and it was a really wonderful thing for them. It gave them a way to not ask me 1,000 times how many more days till Christmas, but it also gave them an opportunity to practice their counting skills when they were young, and it was just a good visual for them. So that's one way that your children can also be involved in counting down till Christmas. Another thing that you can do, of course, is decorate a Christmas tree. And did you know that the German immigrants in Pennsylvania in the 1800s were the first people in the United States to ever use a tree to celebrate the season of Christmas? The story is that Martin Luther, a famous church reformer, was the first to tie candles to a green tree because it reminded him of the stars twinkling through the evergreen trees in wintertime. Do something different this year, though. When you put the tree up, take a moment and talk about the significance of the ornaments. I'm sure you have ornaments, if you're like me, lots of ornaments that your kids have made. But there are also other ornaments. We have an ornament that was from our first Christmas together that we were married. And inside of it is a scroll where we wrote who we spent our first Christmas with and what we did and all of that. And we enjoy, my husband and I enjoy unrolling that and reading about our first Christmas together every year. You can also give the kids dried cranberries, have them put it on a string and hang that as garland on the tree. Or also, they could string popcorn. Take time to talk about the significance of your tree and why you decorate it the way that you do. Another example or another idea for celebrating Christmas is kindness rocks. Now, we've done kindness rocks in our church many times, but during this season, it would be a great thing for your children to paint. All you need is some acrylic paint, which you can get for like 50 cents a bottle at your local department store or craft store, and you need some rocks, which you can get from the woods. And paint them, have your kids paint them and put Merry Christmas on them, or put an angel or a cross or something. And then you can put these, you can give them to neighbors, maybe put them in a place where their neighbor will see it when they come out of their house. You can put them at the entrances to stores where people will see them. At our local grocery store, they have these planters out front, and we put a bunch of them there a couple years ago. And when I went back 2 weeks later, they were all gone. People had taken them. So that means that they mean something to someone. And so that's a wonderful thing that your children can do, that you can do as a family to celebrate Christmas as well. Another opportunity is to participate in our angel tree. We have an angel tree in our church, and it is an amazing opportunity to reach out and to bring joy to a child in a needy family on Christmas morning. And there are a lot of people who have been very negatively impacted financially by the pandemic. This is an opportunity to reach out and share what you have with others and to bring joy to the life of a child on Christmas morning and to take some burden and some stress off of some parents as they're dealing with financial issues. And so this can be a family activity. You can go online and shop. If you've got Amazon Prime, you can get the stuff the next day. But you can go online and shop with your children and have them help you pick out some gifts for these kids. Also, if you are not in a position where you feel comfortable shopping online and you also cannot go out because you're high risk, you can always donate a cash donation to the church. You can do it by check, you can do it by credit card, whatever. But we have some volunteers in our church who will go out and shop for you to provide Christmas for some children in families in need. So it's a wonderful, wonderful way to celebrate with kids. Also, you can sign up to either buy clothes or to buy toys for the children that you pick. Another way to celebrate is to build a gingerbread house. And I've been amazed at how many different varieties of gingerbread houses there are this year. I saw a Red Barn one when I was looking online. There are ones that look like campers. There are ones that look like villages. There are actually ones that look like apartment buildings. But you can go online and buy a gingerbread kit. Now you can buy a gingerbread kit, meaning you can buy the pans and you can bake the gingerbread and you can do the whole thing from scratch. Or you can go all the way to the other extreme and buy a gingerbread house that is already put together and all you have to do is decorate it, which is so much fun. Now my grandkids, two of my grandkids are supposed to come and visit me tomorrow. So I bought a gingerbread house kit that came with all the different pieces. And so I cemented them together with the icing so that when my grandkids come in tomorrow, they just decorate. They don't have to try to put the houses together. I would strongly recommend this for young children. But then they have the things and they can decorate them tomorrow. But it's a great family activity. It's a lot of fun. And I think it's something that, regardless of your age, you can enjoy doing. Even if you don't have any kids in the house, then get one of the big ones that's already put together and decorate it. It's awesome. So we're all really weary of the pandemic, and I know that our holidays look different this year. But you know what hasn't changed? Christ's love for us. It's still there. He loves you so much. And I just pray that during this holiday season of Advent and during the upcoming holiday season of Christmas, that you will remember how much our Lord and our Savior love you, and that there are many people that love you in our church family. If there's anything you need, please reach out to our pastor at the church, and he will be more than happy to see what assistance he can offer you. But I do lift all of you up in prayer. I pray that you have a wonderful, wonderful season of Advent. Next Sunday, I'm going to be talking about, not Santa Claus, but next Sunday I'm going to be talking about St. Nicholas, who he was and why he's still important today to the season of Christmas. I would like to recommend a book if you are interested. This is a book that I purchased. Some of the ideas that I expressed with you today came from this book. It's a great book, has lots of activities. It has scripts in it if you wanted to do your own Advent. It has the scripts right there for you if you don't want to print it off the bulletin. It has lots of ideas too for focusing on the reason of the Advent season. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next Sunday.